Today, we're going to show you how to make pesto over linguine.
Without any cholesterol and no fat. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hi, my name is Audrey. These are my two sisters, Trishonna and Emberly. We're the Benton Sisters. Welcome to Food for Thought.
We're so glad you have joined us today. Did you know that cooking is a science and its value is worth more than all other sciences? In fact, the preparation of food is so important because it affects not only your body, but your mind as well. And so when you cook in the kitchen, realize that you are doing your family a great blessing. Cook for them with love. And today we have some exciting recipes we want to share with you.
I guess we can go ahead and read off the recipe for our pesto linguine. 4 cups of fresh basil leaves, 3 to 6 cloves of garlic, half of a cup of pine nuts ground, or a half of a cup of sesame seeds ground, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, half of a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a cup of pine nuts toasted, 1 can of olives chopped, 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, half of a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of dried basil, and 1 pound of basil flavored linguine.
Wow, that sounds delicious. What do we do first?
Okay, first we're going to go ahead and chop up our basil, fresh basil, and if you have a garden and you can grow basil, that will be delicious.
Okay, you can measure this?
We're just going to go ahead and add what it looks like 4 cups.
Okay.
Basil is one of those wonderful herbs that is very nutritious for you. In fact, the leaves can be taken and used as a tonic for insect bites. Did you know that? And help take away the itching and irritation. Also, if you make a tincture or a tea out of it, it can use to help warm and uplift as a tonic the exhausted nervous system. So also good for cold and congestion. So
Wow.
Basil is very, very nutritious.
And it smells really good too.
It does.
Okay.
So you got about 4 cups of basil in there?
You know, you can also, the recipe doesn't call for it, but you can also put a little bit of parsley in it. It's good too.
That's another
So we'll just
wonderful
put some
herb
parsley in.
full of nutrients.
Okay, is that enough?
And we'll go ahead and put this on. Yeah, that should be plenty.
Okay. Put this on here, right? All right, turn it on.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Looks like it needs to be stirred a little bit, huh?
Can I get this thing off?
You gotta completely take it off. Open it up.
It's quite the chopper you have there. Haven't seen that one before.
It doesn't like these stems. Don't put the stems in. Okay.
Did you know that parsley is really good for actually the eyes, for any eye condition?
Really?
Yeah, the optic nerves. Parsley has a lot of good nutrition for your eyes.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. Is that good?
That's sure fast.
Okay.
Beats chopping it by hand. I've done
smells
that
good.
before. Okay, I guess we'll just go ahead and dump it in here, in our bowl. And then we're going to ground some sesame seeds. Here's sesame seeds right there in that cup.
And this is a cup of sesame seeds.
And this is to replace your Parmesan cheese. It's an excellent replacer for Parmesan cheese.
And you don't have to worry about not getting any calcium if you're not using the Parmesan cheese, which is supposed to be in dairy products, because calcium is also in sesame seeds. In fact, there's more calcium in sesame seeds than there is in dairy products. 1 tablespoon of calcium, 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds contain 11 milligrams of calcium.
Now, how come we want to use sesame seeds? Tell us, in place of Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese has the cholesterol and the saturated fat, plus all of the antibiotics and hormones that are given to the cattle to make them grow bigger or faster
and
put on more meat. Plus,
cheese is hard to digest.
It's hard to digest, and it's not as good for us as it may have used to be then. So switching over to something like this is much better.
Okay, we ready to blend this?
She blends those. I'm going to go ahead and toast the pine nuts.
Okay, here we go. Is that blended enough?
Probably.
Okay.
And I'm going to add the olives.
You know, it has a look of kind of like Parmesan cheese, doesn't it? It's white and has that.
Look at that. It looks just like Parmesan cheese. Can you believe it? Wow, I think that's an excellent replacer to me.
Spatula? Sure.
Here. You want to use? Okay, go ahead.
Get it all
And
out.
that looks really good. So you have olives in there,
Don't want to waste any here.
basil, the sesame seeds, and oh yeah, parsley as well. And now you're working on toasting pine nuts, right?
Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and put this bowl here. I'll let you stir that. And we don't need a blender anymore, right?
Pine nuts can have a piney or a turpentine taste, which will dissipate when you toast them. Pine nuts are so good. They've been used in Lebanese dishes and in East Indian curry. Also, the Pueblo Indians, I believe, use them in a lot of their cooking, in stews and cookies and cakes as well. The nutrition is pretty good. They have vitamin A and B complex vitamins, as well as calcium, iron, and phosphorus. And so pine nuts are pretty good for you. And they're also not very high in fat.
Okay. And they bring out such a delicious flavor when they're toasted. Okay, you can go ahead and add the pine nuts to that.
They smell so good.
And then we're going to make a glaze that goes over this whole mixture to replace our oil. So
do you want me to put all this in here or not
Yeah,
yet?
you can go ahead and mix it up, and then we'll make the glaze.
Okay.
Okay, first we'll need, we already read off the glaze to you. So you'll need a kettle, and I'm going to add the water, get rid of this frying pan. And the water, let me go get the water, it's over here.
This is just amazing. You don't have to worry about there's no dairy products in there. There's no cholesterol or saturated fat.
And the linguine is organic too.
Organic linguine. Where'd you get that at?
The health food store.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to be careful and look at ingredients when you buy your pasta.
Make sure you don't have any eggs in it or anything.
And
you don't want it to be refined, you know?
Well, I buy it with whole grain
Yes.
flour used. That's neat. And it's amazing how much fat we have in our diet. And by just making a few simple changes, you can cut out quite a bit of fat and still have healthy food. You don't have to worry about having, you know, some people feel like they can't get enough calcium unless they have dairy products, or maybe they think that nuts are fattening and so they have to stay away from them. But when you consider the fat in the dairy products versus the fat in the nuts, there's hardly any comparable, because the nuts contain the essential fatty acids that you need to make you healthy, make your hair shiny and your eyes sparkle and your skin soft. And they don't add the cholesterol to your blood vessels or hardening of your arteries like the dairy products do. And so we have the best of both worlds.
Not neat. Okay, I'm going to chop the garlic here for the recipe.
Okay,
and it's noisy here, so.
I'm making a little cornstarch paste to go over for our glaze.
Okay. Do you want chopped finer than that?
A little bit more.
Okay.
Garlic's really good for you too. Tell us about, do you have some things about garlic? How good
Well,
it is?
it's definitely known to be a natural antibiotic, and it's very good for your immune system, help build your immune system. Also, it reduces high blood pressure and lowers the blood cholesterol levels, so it's very good for your health. And great way to get in your diet is through your food. I even like garlic sandwiches. They're really good.
Okay, you want the garlic in here, right?
Yes, and I'm adding a teaspoon of salt to this. And I have my cornstarch in here with my water, and it's on high. I'm going to thicken it up. And then while this is thickening up, this is to replace the oil which goes over our pesto.
So it'll be dry.
And while this is thickening, why don't we make our, let's see, avocado salad.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
So we need to read off the recipe for you for that one. And you'll need 1 tub of tofu, firm, cubed, 1 large cucumber, diced, 3 large tomatoes, diced, 3 large avocados, cubed, 2 cloves of fresh garlic, minced, 1 small red onion, quartered and thinly sliced. And to season, you want fresh squeezed lemon juice and veggie salt to taste, or you can use salt, onion, and garlic powder to taste. So.
Okay, sounds like a good recipe.
I'm getting the tofu opened over here.
Okay, let's go ahead and make it on our plate. And I'll get this out of the way until we're ready for
A lot of people feel that avocado is one of those things you should avoid because it's so fattening. But did you know, Emberly, did you know that it's 75% water is an avocado?
Oh, avocado.
Isn't that amazing? I didn't realize, and it's very
so
high in fiber. There's so much fiber in it that you actually can't gain weight off of avocado.
Well, you avocado lovers, this recipe's for you.
And so avocado is something that we definitely can enjoy, and it's got a lot of nutrients. Avocados can range from 5% to 25% fat, and it's an unsaturated, mono-unsaturated fat, which isn't that bad, is it? And no cholesterol, and water-soluble fiber, and also contains vitamin A and B complex vitamins, as well as vitamin C.
Wow. Okay, this is our tofu here. We can get a shot of this. This is our firm tub tofu. You want to, this is not, you don't freeze it first, do you? This is the thawed.
No, just fresh.
Okay, fresh. You can get this in your produce department of your grocery store.
And tofu has a very mild blah flavor, actually. So what you can do to this tofu is you can cube it up, and you can just add it to a broth, of hot broth, of your favorite seasonings and water, and just let it boil for about 5 minutes on the stove. And the tofu will just soak up all that delicious flavor, and then you toss it into your salad, and it's so good.
Mm. And don't you cool the tofu after you've heated it so it doesn't wilt your lettuce?
Yeah, you boil it in your broth, and then you want a really strong broth. And then you drain off your broth, and then you let it cool in the refrigerator or the freezer, just until it's cool, so that way your lettuce salad makings won't wilt.
Just make sure you don't leave it in there while you eat your lunch and
We've
forget
done
about
that, haven't we? And then we have frozen tofu in there.
Okay, do you want this cubed up?
Yeah, we can go ahead and cube that up.
Okay.
Tofu is also very good for you. It's
And I need a knife real quick.
Sure. Is it in here?
There should be a knife in there. Is there a little one?
Yeah, here's a knife.
Okay, thank you.
Tofu, all that has been done to the tofu is the removal of the fiber. And so it's not really that concentrated, but it's very nutritious for you. It's a complete balance of protein. And in fact, 8-ounce serving of tofu is equal or comparable to 5.5 ounces of hamburger when it comes to the protein content. And what the better thing about it is that the tofu does not have the cholesterol, and so you don't have to worry about the problem with cholesterol hardening your arteries once again. And here you got the benefits of a complete protein.
Wow. And did you say that it has natural estrogen?
Tofu does contain a natural estrogen, which is really good for us women. Want to keep that in mind. Also, tofu, another thing about this is that it's 85% water. Wow. And so people who think they're getting too much fat in their tofu, when you think about it being 85% water.
Not much fat in there.
Not much fat in there.
And so we're sprinkling on a little bit of onion and avocado. Can't forget the avocado.
Now you want these diced in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Onion actually is brain food. Did you know that?
No.
Onion is good for for mental activity, using your mind, thinking a lot and stuff.
Can you give me a spoon? There's a little spoon in there for this.
And I know the recipe doesn't call for yellow bell peppers, but I like to use yellow and red tomatoes in here. That's really good. And you can just throw in some yellow bell pepper for color if you don't have any yellow tomatoes. And what you want to do is you want to make it really attractive looking with lots of color.
In fact, more colors, the more vitamins there are, right?
That's right. Do you want garlic in there?
So we got all this color. Yes, you can sprinkle a little bit of garlic on there.
Sprinkle, like chop it first?
Oh, chop it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Get out
Fresh
your
garlic.
handy-dandy chopper again.
Yeah, this loud thing. A little more.
That does an excellent job of mincing it, doesn't it?
I know you may be afraid,
Smells
well,
good.
fresh garlic, oh, then you're going to have garlic breath, right? Parsley is a great mint for,
But mouth freshener.
yeah, yeah. So,
Okay, I think our plate's a little small, don't you think?
yeah, we better stop filling it up, huh? Okay, looks like our glaze is ready.
Our no oil.
So you can pour a little bit of that over the pasta.
So not all of it?
Let's see, let me put this over here for you. How about that? And then we just mix it up. So that's to replace the oil.
You want to use
just a
all of
little
it?
bit.
Oh, just a little? Okay.
And you can stir it up, and if you want to add more, you can add more. Just go by the looks. Yeah, we probably won't need all of it. That spoon's a little small.
Give us a bigger spoon over there.
And then it gives it a really nice, shiny look, which it looks like it has oil on it, and it tastes so good. And you wouldn't even notice that it was different.
Have to get all this out. I hate wasting, so. Okay. There we go. I'll put this in the sink.
Sure.
Well, we have such a big batch here. I probably should have made a little bit more glaze, but you get the idea. So,
All right.
and then let's go ahead and scoot this over. We're going to make appetizer stuffing. Do you think we have time for that?
Yeah, I think so.
So let's go ahead and read off the ingredients. Okay, this is the stuffing for our tomato tulips. You'll need 1/4 of a cup of bulgur wheat, 1/4 of a cup of couscous, 1½ cups of water, 1 tablespoon of McKay's chicken seasoning, 1/4 of a cup of onions minced, 1/4 of a cup of celery minced, 1/4 of a cup of green bell peppers, and 1/4 of a cup of red bell peppers, and also 1/4 of a cup of avocados, small chunks, and 3/4 cup of Benton Sisters ranch dressing, 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of veggie salt, and then here's the ranch dressing part: 2 packages of morning tofu, 1/4 cup of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of parsley, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of dill weed, 1 teaspoon of Mrs. Dash herb, and 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of sweet basil. And you just blend all these ingredients up in the blender, and this is what you have. Doesn't that look good? And it's non-dairy. Can you believe it? So
And no oil, right?
So yes, and so you can actually have your ranch dressing that you can make yourself that's non-dairy.
Okay.
I think it's a good replacement.
We're told to have at least, 5 servings of vegetables and 5 servings of fruit a day. And so you think you're being healthy by eating all those vegetables, but if you're putting a fattening dressing on it, you're defeating the purpose, aren't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
So here you have a dressing that's really good for you.
And you can load this one on like you always wanted to do, right? And it's so easy. Just whiz
So
it up in the
now
blender.
we're going to make the stuffing
And
for
you're done.
the tulips.
Right.
And didn't I see it said couscous and bulgur wheat?
Yes,
Show us what that looks like.
Okay. There's the bulgur wheat, and that's called white pilaf bulgur wheat.
So it's not cracked wheat.
Right.
Okay.
It's different than cracked wheat. And then this is couscous. Sometimes people
couscous-
call it couscous.
Couscous, isn't that like a pasta?
Uh-huh.
All right,
Okay.
and
You can find it in the health food store, or most grocery stores carry it too. So,
All right, what are we doing with that?
okay, we're going to go ahead and add our water to our kettle. You just need 1½ cups of water. And we're going to add our bulgur wheat and couscous. And we're going to let it cook, and it cooks up really fast. And I need a spoon. And then we're going to add our McKay's chicken seasoning. And sometimes you can find McKay's chicken seasoning that has whey in it or some kind of dairy product. So you want to make sure you read labels and find McKay's chicken seasoning that's dairy-free.
And it doesn't have any MSG in it.
Right. And there's different kinds of chicken seasonings out there. This is my favorite because it has a lot of flavor.
So that way you don't have to use as much.
Right.
Some chicken seasonings or
Have a lot of flour and hardly any seasonings to use a lot.
okay.
Okay, so we'll just thicken this up. And while that's thickening up, let's go ahead and chop up the vegetables. We'll need a green bell pepper and some onion and an avocado. And also, let's see, I'll get a bowl out for you to put that in.
Okay.
Here's a bowl.
Get the seeds out. Now you want these minced?
Uh-huh.
Sounds like your couscous on the stove is boiling away there.
Yeah, it cooks up pretty fast, probably about 5 minutes. You just want to bring it to a boil until it gets thickened up.
While you girls are putting this together, let's take a look at the principles to a healthy diet. I want to bring up the list here. First of all, principles to a healthy diet. You want to avoid refined sugars and avoid visible fats and oils. One person asked me, well, if that means if you can't see it, does it mean you can still eat it? Well, visible fats and oils are those who are the oils that are been extracted out of food like corn. It takes a tablespoon of it takes about, what, 14 ears of corn to make a tablespoon of corn oil, so that's the visible fats and oils.
Wow, that's highly refined.
Exactly. And number 3, avoid food containing cholesterol. How you keep this straight is anything that breathed, walked, or came from a mother has cholesterol in it. If it grew out of the ground, it doesn't contain cholesterol.
So you're telling me that coconut doesn't have cholesterol in it?
That's right. Coconut doesn't have cholesterol in it. But if you eat too much of it, it could elevate your body cholesterol. So that's probably where the confusion can come in.
So moderation in all things, right?
Exactly. Number 4, avoid alcohol, tobacco, and caffeinated drinks. Number 5, freely use whole grain products. Number 6, freely use tubers and legumes. Tubers are your yams, sweet potatoes, rooty things like that, and legumes are your beans. 7, freely use fresh fruits and vegetables. 8, severely limit salt, or as some people call them, salt bombs, those pretzels, Pringles, potato chips, things that are just loaded with salt. Salt is important in your diet, but the balance is the key. And 9, drink plenty of water daily. We as Americans do not get enough water in our life. And so we have a lot of problems that occur in our health from a lack of water. If we just start drinking a lot more water and stop drinking soda pop as much, we'd have better health. And 10, eat a good breakfast daily. Breakfast is the meal that does just what it says, break the fast. And so those are our principles for a healthy diet, 10 in fact, and they're very important to keep in mind to maintain optimum physical health. And if we want to take a look at our food pyramid real quick, to see what, it's actually like triangle, the food is in the ratio of digestion. Actually, fruit is the most easily digested food. And I would call this God's candy bars because you don't have to do anything to prepare it in order to eat it. You can eat it just like it is. And digests very rapidly, gives you all that energy that you need, like if you were eating a candy bar. And vegetables is next on the list. It takes a little more energy to digest vegetables, and you need to prepare them a little bit. Sometimes you have to steam them or cook them a little bit. And then grains is our storage supply of energy, and they either have to be soaked, grains and legumes, or else they have to be cooked quite a bit. And then nuts and seeds is at the top, and that's where you have your fat. And of course, you don't want to turn this pyramid upside down and have the fat to be the main part of your diet. You want to eat in proportion from the bottom to the top, is ratio-wise, and that's also in the form of how easily digested food. And so all these little ideas and tips really help us to keep in mind the things that we need to do to maintain a healthy lifestyle and a healthy diet. Well, you guys got those chopped up pretty fast, didn't you?
Tried.
Okay, we have onions in here and green and red bell pepper and,
Celery and avocado.
okay.
And then this is what it looks like when it's cooked up all the way. See how dry it looks?
Nice grain.
And so we'll go ahead and actually let's add the ranch dressing to it to cool it off a little bit. We don't want to wilt those vegetables. Okay, you need like 1/4 of a cup of ranch dressing. I mean 3/4 of a cup.
Okay. Okay, and put this in there.
And you might want to let it cool off a little bit before you mix it with your vegetables. It's pretty hot right now. How about we'll just set it aside while I cut some tomatoes. Okay, we'll wipe that off.
We have made quite a bit today when it comes to the vegetable category, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
We got a whole bunch of wonderful nutrients in our pesto
You want to make a plate?
and also in our avocado salad with all the vegetables we have in the avocados as well as the tofu there. And here we have our little tulip appetizers.
Don't cut it all the way through. Just cut it like that, and then fan it a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and put it on the plate. And this is so delicious. And it's, look at it, a complete vegan meal that's dairy-free. No dairy at all. Okay, I have 2 here. And we'll go ahead and mix these 2 together. You want to go ahead and mix those 2 together? And I'll put some linguine on this plate. And all that basil in here. What you said about basil, that's so good. Will make us want to eat a lot of basil, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that basil as a tincture rubbed on insect bites could actually alleviate the itch. Now, doesn't that look delicious? No cholesterol or saturated fat. We hope you enjoy creating these healthful recipes in your kitchen and realize that you are creating foods that will not only feed the body but the mind as well. These are foods that say, I love you. May God richly and abundantly bless you and your family as you learn new and healthy ways to cook for your family.